Hey, friends and Heartmakers. Now that we've moved on to the second part of our beginner pattern making journey, onto sleeves, I thought it would be a really cool exercise to break down some of the most common sleeves that we see out in the world. Many of these we're going to find in high fashion on the runway, and some of them do trickle down into everyday clothes that we wear. However, I think it is important to be able to recognize the different characteristics of these sleeves so that we're able to see it and then understand how to deconstruct and then reconstruct something that inspires us. So, the most important piece out of this is to create your sleeve block. We would then build on top of it to design some of the sleeves that we see we maybe want to add to a piece of clothing that we're designing. I did make a guide, the Ultimate Sleeve Guide, which goes over the top 10 most common sleeves that we see. And if you leave the word sleeve down in the comments, I will send you this free guide so that you have it as another tool for your toolbox. So let's jump right in and start with the cap sleeve. The cap sleeve is the shortest sleeve of all, with just a small curve of fabric that extends slightly over the shoulder. Unlike a short sleeve, it doesn't wrap completely under the arm, so it gives just a touch of coverage while leaving most of the arm exposed. The dolman sleeve or batwing sleeve is wide and loose. It's a shape that begins at the shoulder or underarm, and it dramatically tapers to a narrow wrist. It is typically cut as one continuous piece with the bodice, so it doesn't have a traditional armhole or shoulder seam, which provides a lot of room and a super comfortable fit. The kimono, similar to a dolman sleeve, is cut as one piece with the bodice. This creates a flowing continuous line from the shoulder to the wrist or wherever the sleeve ends, with no shoulder seam. The sleeve is often long and rectangular, creating a soft and graceful drape. The short sleeve or short set-in sleeve is the everyday classic, the one that you're going to see the most on t-shirts and short sleeve button-ups. It is sewn directly into the armhole and it wraps fully around the arm. A raglan sleeve is a single piece of fabric that extends from the underarm to the collar. This creates a diagonal seam from the neckline to the underarm instead of a traditional shoulder seam. This construction provides a much wider underarm area and a more relaxed fit, offering a lot of freedom of movement, which is why we see it show up mostly in athletic wear. A bell sleeve starts fitted at the shoulder and gradually widens down towards the cuff, resembling a bell or a trumpet. Characteristics of this sleeve would include a smooth, continuous flare without gathering or pleats at the hem, and the defining feature is the sleeve's width that increases from the armhole to the hem. A bishop sleeve is a full-length, billowy sleeve that gradually flares out from the shoulder to the elbow and then tapers into a gathered cuff at the wrist, giving it a dramatic puffed appearance. This sleeve is intentionally designed with extra fabric to create a voluminous ballooning shape, which is gathered or pleated at the wrist and secured with a cuff or a band, creating a dramatic contrast. A leg of mutton sleeve or a jigget sleeve is characterized by a dramatic fullness or puff at the shoulder that then tapers to a close-fitting or gathered style at the forearm and wrist. This resembles the shape of a sheep's hind leg, which is where it gets its name. The fullness is typically achieved by gathering or pleating the fabric into the armhole, creating a very voluminous cap. The top part of the sleeve is very full and wide, and conversely, significantly narrows, starting from the elbow down to the wrist. A lantern sleeve is a long, full sleeve that gradually balloons out from the shoulder or the elbow to the wrist. We can sometimes think of this sleeve in two parts, where it balloons out at the shoulder, narrows at the elbow, balloons again at the forearm, and narrows out at the wrist. A puff sleeve is characterized by its gathered fabric that creates a full, voluminous shape at the top of the arm. It often tapers to a gathered or elastic cuff at the wrist. The fabric is intentionally gathered at the shoulder, bicep, or even both to create a super puffy shape, and always narrows down into a fitted cuff either at the wrist or wherever the sleeve finishes. So that completes our journey through some of the most popular sleeves out there. This does not cover all of them. There are some gorgeous sleeves out there, a flare sleeve, a butterfly sleeve, for example. There are some beautiful sleeve examples to study. But this is a starting point to help us start to be able to identify things that we see, start to make those connections with how some of these things are constructed and be able to recreate them when we feel inspired. To follow along with the tutorial for creating your sleeve block, head over to the YouTube channel at Always Shine Your Heart. Subscribe to the channel and please like the video so others can see it and learn with us. Thank you for being here, and I will see you guys on the next video.